And we're off. All right, Derek, we get to come back again today and talk a little bit more about this thing that we've been trying to communicate about what the reality of Advantage Mortgage is, what the reality of the broker channel is. We talked earlier about really clearly defining our mission statement as helping mortgage professionals get back to what they love. And part of getting back to what they love is solving for pain points that exist in the business. And then part of this conversation is about dispelling myths that the broker channel in particular, or Advantage Mortgage, the broker channel in general, the Advantage Mortgage in particular, can't solve for some of these really important pain points, and dispelling those myths. Today, we're going to talk about this concept of systems. One of the great clarion calls from the retail channel is that they've got the systems. They've got the CRMs, they've got the processing, and they've got the scenario desks. They've got all the systems necessary to give the loan officer the ability to just focus completely on production. So let's talk about the systems that now exist in the broker channel. And we can also acknowledge that 20 years ago, some of those criticisms might have been accurate. The broker channel wasn't as sophisticated as it is now. Technology has had a great impact on all channels, and the broker channel is certainly one of those, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So let's talk about this idea of systems that exist within our organization and how those are utilized to create part of what you have done, and we've talked about this in other formats, but part of what you've done is you've tried to create Advantage Mortgage around this idea that you could make not only the transition from a retail world to the broker channel. We certainly hire people that come from other broker channels, but you've tried to minimize the pain and the discomfort that might exist from going from a area where a loan officer feels like they have all kinds of systems to one where they feel like they have none. I know some broker channels have in their recruiting pitch, they say, hey man, go get your own computer, find an IT person that can help support you because we don't provide any of that stuff. So let's talk a little bit about systems and what you've done to create systems at this company to help mortgage professionals win.
Yeah. So I think that there's two different avenues there: systems regarding technology and systems regarding operationally.
Great point.
So, as a top producing loan officer myself, I created a lot of systems when I was in the retail lending world. Operationally, I had the technology that was given to me, and we can all agree that technology has come a long ways, even in the last 5 years.
Sure.
But what I wanted to do was create the ability to have all the technology on the wholesale side that I liked on the retail side. And so there are a lot of broker shops that are small, usually broker owners. So they're originating, and they don't really have a lot of time to focus on building out their technology systems, or the tech stack, as people like to say. But I did that right out of the gate, and I'm continually honing that or making it better, because one, I love technology. I use it, I love it, and so I've been able to bring a lot of that to the wholesale side. But we also have a lot of wholesale lenders that have amazing technology if you want to use it. Um,
Sure.
so there isn't anything that we can't do. We have automated VOEs, VOAs for assets. We have the dual AUS where you can run LPDU side by side and pick the best one. Anything that you want to use. We have Simple Nexus as our mobile app where you can, borrowers can do a loan app, upload all their documents. We can send pre-approval letters out. I mean, just anything technology wise, we have it available. Not a lot of broker shops have done that, which is fine. They operate how they want. I want to help loan officers do more loans, get to the next level. So when it comes to technology, we have all that stuff. If there is something that you want, we can get it. We're getting a new CRM that is going to absolutely take us to the next level, which I'm really excited about. The other thing is operationally. So I see a lot of companies say, "Oh yeah, we're going to help you, increase your volume," or but do they? I don't know. Do they? Are they out there hiring an LOA for you? Are they training that LOA for you? Are they helping you build your team? Are they putting together systems like what I call who does what when? So that when a loan comes in, everybody knows their deal, right? Everybody makes the cheeseburger the same way. We do that. I don't know on the retail side. I mean, I know lots of loan officers that are doing decent volume, but they are responsible for hiring their own LOA and training that person and getting that person up to speed. It's all on them. I don't think
Exactly.
the regional manager isn't coming down, sitting next to that LOA and saying, here's how you, this is what we're going to do. It's really all on the loan officers. So that's the piece that we do really well, which is wrap our arms around a team. Okay, what do you need? All right. And I try to forecast it. If I see somebody's volume, I'm like, all right, what's the next step? Where do you want to go? And I'm reaching out to those loan officers going, all right, are you ready for an LOA? Because we have operationally, we have a bunch of LOAs, we have a bunch of processors. And so we can put the right seats in the bus to make people successful. And we've actually done that before where we've moved people.
Right.
Sometimes the personalities don't match. And we're like, all right, well, let's try this. Whoop, and all of a sudden magic happens. So when it comes to operationally support systems, we have all that. We can help you and help loan officers get to that next level.
And I think that's probably a little bit foreign for people who are in the broker channel and have spent their career in the broker channel. I came from retail. My entire career was in retail before I left and went to work at the Coop. But so for me, hearing somebody who owns a broker channel mortgage company talking about systems and LOAs and processing and scenario desks and pricing engines and all that stuff, it's just really kind of extraordinary with my background and the history that I have in looking at the broker channel.
Yeah, I love it. I'm a systems guy. I love to help people, if they're doing 5 loans, I want to see them get to 10, and stay in their lane, right? Be able to do that amount of loans and not work 80 hours, right? I mean, ultimately that's
And
the
I think in
goal.
order to get there, you have to have not only the systems in place, but you have to have this collaborative environment where the producing side of the organization and the operational side of the organization uh, are
Oh,
like-minded, are working in
yeah.
harmony. And I think one of the things that attracted me to this company, when you and I were talking about the possibility of coming on board with Advantage, you invited me to your post-holiday event. And I sat in a room kind of with my jaw dropping, listening to it's fairly common for a production team to get up and talk about how great their team is and rah, rah, rah. It's not as common for operations people to get up and talk about how great their team is on the sales side. Sometimes operations doesn't feel terribly honored or supported within organizations like mortgage companies. And it was exactly the opposite of that in my experience. That's a reflection of systems that are put in place to make the machine work, not just to honor production who might be throwing loans against the wall hoping that they stick.
Yeah. Yeah, we collaborate really well together. A lot of companies have top producers and they share ideas like, oh, here's all the ideas, which is great, but where's the implementation? Where's the piece where it's like, all right, let's actually do this. And that's, I think, a differentiator here, where not only do we have top producers that are willing to share everything, they'll actually say, well, let's eat an elephant one bite at a time. Let's get you set up with this. Let's start doing this. We have one loan officer that does weekly coaching calls with loan officers that want to be involved with their coaching. So we just have a really collaborative team that's willing to share everything, not only ideas, but also help with implementation.
Which is extraordinary. Yeah, she calls it Making Money Mondays. And you get on that call and you get real practical information about how to take your business to the next level. And then with the camera still on, everybody mutes and goes and makes their calls and then comes back and talks about the successes or failures or challenges or whatever that they dealt with. And they coach through that. They move on. That's in any channel, that's fairly unheard of.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And
She doesn't wear
the
the
other
title
piece
of
of
sales manager. She's not compensated for that. She's just a person who loves this business and loves this company and wants to give back.
Yeah, that's the nature of all of our people. So
Pretty extraordinary.
yeah, and
So
so in
real quick,
another.
before we hang up on this subject, just rattle off real quick on purely on the tools and systems that we have in place so that there's no misconception. We have IT support, right?
Mhm.
And we have a CRM. The company provides your computer. We have a 401k. I'm not sure I've ever heard of that in the broker channel. What else am I missing, Derek? What are the tools and systems that are in place?
Yeah, so I mean, we have an LOS system that helps with taking your loan applications. We have a CRM that's absolutely going to blow the socks off. Our LOS system's great. We have an IT support person company now that helps with, your computer. You can't, something's going wrong with it. We have a
Your
marketing
company issued
person.
computer, by the way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We have a marketing person. Her sole job is to help you with, flyers or postcards or social media or videos or website, anything that has to do with that. You don't have, whether you have Google pages and you need to get those transferred over. I'm really big on making sure all your information matches when you're on the internet. People need to see it because there's some people that have, LinkedIn, it still shows their previous company from 2 companies ago, so on and so forth. So we have a marketing person that helps with that. We have an LO support person that her whole job is to help with calculating income or structuring deals or where should you send a loan, what investor, construction lending, you want a builder package filled out. I mean, anything that has to do with LO support. We have a scenario desk person. Um, we
We've
have an
got a loan
ops
officer who's
manager.
decided to make part of his emphasis commercial, and he really has built a
Yeah.
good, strong portion of his business on the commercial side.
Yeah, we have a pricing engine to where if you want to plug in your scenario, it pops up what lender is offering the best pricing on any given day. And in that system, you can also click the underwriting guidelines. Every lender just boop, hit a button and it shows you all the guidelines based on that program you picked. Um,
And
I know
and
I'm
and
probably,
an intangible that I've experienced, that, you have a loan officer that recently joined the company, Shauna Clough, and she knows some of the people within the company. And as she started to get into pricing a few loans, she asked a few of those people she knows about, wow, I'm seeing some really great rates. And those people were not only kind enough, but intelligent enough to say, okay, here's the deal. Sometimes you have the best rate, but not the best execution. Sometimes you have great execution, but your rates aren't as competitive. We have lenders in place to meet specific needs, but it's like the right tool for the project. And we have leaders, experienced people within this organization that we're willing to talk to a new loan officer and say, yeah, great rate, but sounds like this might be a 3-week close. You might want to watch your step there, and you might want to consider a slightly different rate for a company that's going to execute that almost without failure. Or you might see more conditions on a particular lender than some other, or whatever the reason is for choosing one lender over the other.
yeah, that's a big piece of moving to the broker side is just you get fed a little bit with a fire hose with regards to all the options because you have a bazillion options. We have every product that you can think of. And so sometimes it does feel a little bit like overwhelming, but we've been doing it now for 9 years. So we've got that down. We know you got a deal, go here. You got it, so on and so forth. So we try to make that transition really simple, but it's sometimes hard once you see the pricing, you see, oh my gosh, and you end up wanting to just get the lowest pricing. But sometimes I mean, truthfully transparent, some of our lenders are stone and tablet. Their technology isn't that great,
Sure,
but they have great rates. So as long as you set expectations, then you won't have any problems. It's all about expectations. But the nice thing is we have the ability, right? It's my file. We can go back to control. I can control where I take that loan.
sure. Fantastic. Well, thanks again, Derek, for taking time to chat with us a little bit more about dispelling myths and solving for pain points in the mortgage space.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kurt.